Welcome to News Generation. Today, let's start with a bit of inspiration, shall we? Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. So strive to be a better you. And now to our headlines. Child beggars will be off the streets by September. This is according to the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. And the World Marked Population Day will tell you more about it. Plus, pupils of Morning Glory thrills parents and graduates on graduation day. All this and more we have lined up for you on today's flight. My name is Faustina Safo. You can call me your pilot. We'll be right back after this quick turn.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call Vita-Rich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only cowbell with Vita-Rich puts you on the fast track.
Welcome back. Remember, you can join our conversations online. Find us on Facebook at News Generation GH and on Twitter at NewsGenGH. Now, the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Madam Gifty Chum Ampofu, has assured Ghanaians that child beggars will be off the streets by September this year. Responding to concerns of the recent invasion by these child beggars on the streets of Accra, the Deputy Minister says her outfit has already deployed social workers to capture the data of these children so as to reunite them with their families and enroll them into government programs depending on their needs. There's more in this report. Once the traffic light signals red, it's time to get to work. The lean on car windows, pricking your conscience with an innocent look, in a bid to get a few coins, which by the close of day they would have gathered enough to feed themselves and in some cases their parents who sit under shades urging them on. This has now become a daily routine for these children. Away from school and in some cases home, this has now become their source of livelihood. Begging of alms was synonymous to the Nigerian migrants, but now nationals have joined in the somewhat lucrative trade. Refusing to speak on camera, some of them took to their heels when they took note of our presence. Risking their lives and clearly violating the Section 87 of the Children's Act, which prohibits exploitative child labor, these children have surprisingly increased in numbers over the years. Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Gifty Chum Ampofu, revealed that her outfit has deployed a data collection system to collate the details of these nationals on the streets so as to enroll them on the necessary programs.
As of now, a questionnaire has been developed and the social welfare officials have started scouting our streets, which they're going to get all the children registered by administering the questionnaire. This will help them know their families and why they are on the street. If they're able to get all these children, one, they will send them back to their families, survey their background. Where the issue is solely poverty, you will enroll that very household on LEAP. That is, some amount of money will be given to the household depending on their numbers. And then this child will be enrolled back into the classroom.
She, however, outlined the challenges the ministry is facing with the system.
The only challenge we have with this data on these street children and reuniting them into their families is that those who are a bit older and have stayed on the street for a couple of months, they've gotten used to this freedom way of life. And with Ghanaians' hospitality, everybody will give them money. So they realize on the street I have more than money than maybe at home. My mother had not seen that money before. Why then going back home? So these ones, they will end up giving you wrong information, false information about themselves. They may be just from Kaswa, people of Kaswa. I'm not saying that you are something else. Just Kaswa, or let's say Nyanyano, or let's say in Samwem. But they will tell you that their parents are far away in the northern region, Brahaf region, Ashanti region, far away in the eastern region. So you realize that even though they've helped you to fill your questionnaire, but they were not truthful. So such individuals become very difficult to rehabilitate them.
Concerned about the increasing numbers of foreigners on the street, she said the ministry is in talks with international bodies to come up with a lasting solution.
The gender ministry is one ministry which collaborates with a lot of ministries. As of now, my minister is having inter-sectorial meeting with the Ministry of Employment, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Justice, to see how well we could streamline all these problems that we have. For those who are foreigners, we're having a lot of discussion with the Foreign Ministry to find out their status. If they have refugee status, then we should keep them and maintain them as such. If they don't have, then you see how well we could manage that issue.
Faustina Safo for News Generation. Well, every child deserves the right to be in school, and we all need to come together to advocate for that. I'm sure that's what the Deputy Minister means by telling you not to give to these children when they come out to you for alms. Moving on the 11th of July every year, it is observed by the international community as World Population Day. It is a day set aside to highlight the importance of issues regarding population. Well, this year's theme is family planning, empowering people, developing nations. Let's check out this video animation from the United Nations, which has some details that will shock you. So on the back of this worrying statistics put out by the UN on the adverse effects of population on childbirth, on World Population Day, we met with the Assistant Chief Statistician of the Ghana Statistical Service, Mr. Wusu Keja, who says 25% of people in Ghana have not had any form of education at all, and 16% out of 75% of people have only had up to senior high school level education. That's more.
Unfortunately, poverty indices are not generated annually. We conduct a living measurement survey, what we call Ghana Living Standard Survey. And this survey is conducted roughly 5 years, 7 years. The last one was conducted in 2012-2013, and the current survey is being conducted. Field workers are still in the field. In October, they will complete field work, after which analysis will be done. And so going back to the one which was conducted in 2005-2006, the poverty rate was 31.9%.
That's in 205.
2005-2006. And the current figure, which we got from the 2012-2013 Ghana Living Standard Survey reports, is 24.2%. We recently conducted a labor force survey in 2015. Ghana Labor Force Survey was conducted, where we collect information about activity status of the population. And so in that report, we recorded about 13.8 million of the population within age 15 years and older. And when we're talking about employment issues, this is the population we are always interested in. Below 15 years, we expect that they should be in school or be in some kind of training. And so the international standard is 15 years and older, so that is the focus. And so for this population 15 years and older, we recorded 9.3 million roughly who were employed. And for the population who were unemployed, we recorded about 1.2 million. And so if you want to look at the proportions, then we can say that of the total population 15 years and older, 67% of them were employed, whereas 9.1% of them were unemployed. The remaining 23% were not active at the time. And so some of them were, for instance, in school, and so they were not doing any economic activity. Some of them reported that they were incapacitated, and so could not do any economic activity. Some of them were doing household chores, and so they were not doing any economic activity. That is what goes into the 23%. But in terms of, and so the 9% is the proportion of the total population and not the unemployment rate. For the unemployment rate, we recorded 11.9%. So currently, that is the figure officially we're using.
So let's try to put a smile on your face. The Osu Presby Hall was filled with emotion as 29 nursery and 25 junior high school students of the Morning Glory Montessori Child Development Center graduated to pursue continuing and higher education respectively. It was a great sight to behold. There's more in this report.
Parents were overjoyed and filled with pride as they watched their wards show off the intellectual skills they had acquired. After spending at least the last 4 years in school, what could one possibly achieve? Here is little Whitney Odura Sapon with a well-read out valedictory speech on what she and her colleague nursery friends had been up to all the while. The high point of the 2016-2017 academic year was when outgone head prefect Ose Sanaki rallied her colleague students and some parents to put together a health walk with the aim of raising funds for the Ghana Heart Foundation. Their efforts saw them raise over 23,000 Ghana cedis in cash, which was presented to the foundation.
On behalf of the management and staff of Morning Glory Montessori Child Development Center, we would like to present to you this check to the tune of 27,943 cedis, and we hope that this will go a long way to save a life.
Graduates from the nursery and junior high departments combined to perform a cover to the song You Raise Me Up, to to the delight of all that had gathered at the Osu Presby Hall. And then came the climax of the event, when outstanding students and members of staff were awarded. One by one, they picked up their awards. Irachwa Amwakwa Inkum was adjudged the best student in English in Daffodil 3 class. You won
best student for English.
Really? Hey, so tell me, how did the English exam go?
It went fine.
What did you write?
I wrote about myself.
So what did you write about yourself?
I wrote my name, my age, what I like and what I dislike, my favorite food and my favorite thing.
Lois Ayitevi, a JHS1 student, swept 4 awards in mathematics, English, science and social studies. She was happy to have achieved that feat. For the students who graduated from junior to senior high, it is most likely that some of them may not meet again until the end of time. So what memories will they take away from Morning Glory MCDC?
Morning Glory is a great community. We acknowledge that each and every one of us is family. We love each and every one of us. There's discipline, and the teachers are committed to doing their duties.
So what memories are you taking with you away from Morning Glory?
The times we got punished, the times we passed, and the times we shared with Auntie Na, which is our head of department.
They've been great, but for the first few years, I had a little troubles. The subjects, I wasn't really too strong, but over the years, I've come and I've been better, and now they've done me well, and I've made it here.
Are you sad that you're going to miss all the people you were in class with in both A and B?
Oh yes, I am, but surely we'll have a way that we can come back together, communicate.
How do you hope to do that?
Well, there's social media, so...
After training students who have become more like family and watching them go pursue higher education, perhaps never to even see them again must be a third emotional. Na Ajekai Badu Anum is head of the junior high department. She is popularly known as Antenna, and she was filled with emotions as she watched her once little children leave one by one to join the bigger world.
It's heartbreaking. It feels just like a mother would feel when your child is leaving your home and it's kind of permanent, maybe for marriage or something like that. You hope that you will be seeing them, but you know the relationship is not going to be the same.
We're taking this quick break, and when New Generation comes back, we'll give you a bit of sports. Yes, so do stay.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call VitaRich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only cowbell with VitaRich puts you on the fast track.
Welcome back from the break. Remember, you can send your conversations to us online on Facebook at News Generation GH and on Twitter at NewsGenGH. Now, the former Black Stars defender John Mensah says he's still active and not thinking of retiring from professional football. Mensah has been out of action for some time now due to an injury. The 34-year-old, who is still nursing this injury, was playing for the Swedish second-tier club Athletic FC United, and he insists that he is not done playing yet. Now, he was playing for the Black Stars over a decade and wants to return to the national team. On WhatsApp today, we ask you, will the return of John Mensah be of any significance for the Black Stars? You've been sharing your views with us.
I think John Mensah should come back because when he comes back, he can come and help the younger ones boost their confidence in football and also teach them some tricks in football. So I think John Mensah should come back.
I think he shouldn't come back as a footballer, but as to be part of the technical team to help them because he has lots of experiences. So when he comes back, he can help the Ghana football team to improve more in their technical skills.
He can come back, but not as a player anymore, because if he comes back as a player, he cannot do much better than what he used to do. And now he's old, so he will not get enough strength to do what he used to do. And nowadays, every coach wants young boys as their players. They don't want old men, because old men, they can't run and kick the ball and do anything that much faster. So I think he can come back, but not as a player anymore.
I think John Mensah should come back to the Black Stars because those who usually play the Black Stars had the skills to play. So he should come back not to play on the field, but like an assistant coach.
I think John Mensah should come back, but not as a player, but as a coach. Since he has acquired or gained skills when he used to play, he can teach the Black Stars how to play very well, because now the Black Stars are not doing well. When John Mensah, now Black Stars, we need energetic men to play. And John Mensah is not as strong as he used to play. So I think when he comes back as a coach and give them information and skills about when he used to play, I think the Black Stars will do well.
I think John Mensah can come as a coach, but not a football player. When he comes as a player, then he needs to play the first half or second half. He cannot play full time because his strength cannot match up as the younger one.
Interesting views there, but let's check out what else has been making headlines around the world in international news round.
Police in India have arrested a 60-year-old man who fatally shot his wife for serving his dinner late. Yes, you heard right. A senior police officer in the nation's capital, Delhi, said Ashok Kumar came home drunk on Saturday night and got into an argument with his wife, Rupesh Sunania, 55 years. After Sunania was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound to her head, she was found dead. Mr. Kumar has confessed to his crime and now regrets his actions, but we all know that regret will not resurrect his dead wife. Bertha, thought to be the world's oldest hippopotamus in captivity, has died in the Philippines aged 65. The hippo was longest-serving resident in Manala Zoo, and staff say she was there aged 7 when it opened in 1959. Her age cannot be independently verified as the zoo has no paperwork on her origins. However, the typical lifespan for a hippo is between 40 to 50 years. Bertha was among the pioneer animals here, and that was according to zoo director James, who told the AFP news agency. The zoo said she enjoyed a diet of grass, fruit and bread. Its oldest resident is now Mali, a 43-year-old Asian elephant. Earlier this year, animal rights activists launched a petition calling for Mali to be transferred to a wildlife sanctuary in Thailand. The International Committee of the Red Cross says the cholera outbreak in war-torn Yemen is thought to have infected 300,000 people in the past 10 weeks. The Red Cross has warned the situation has continued to spiral out of control, with about 7,000 new cases every day. According to the UN, more than 1,700 associated deaths have been reported. Yemen's health, water and sanitation systems are collapsing after 2 years of conflict between pro-government forces and the rebel Houthi movement. Now, some education on this disease. Cholera is an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae. Most of those infected will have no or mild symptoms, but in severe cases, the disease can kill within hours if left untreated.
There's more news in Local News Round.
Staff of the Pangtang Psychiatric Hospital have been on a sit-down strike since Monday to protest the encroachment of the hospital lands. Appeals from the Health Ministry and Mental Health Authority has failed to get the staffs back to work, as they claim similar promises and appeals have not met their demands. Patients visiting the facility for medical attention were turned away by the striking staff. Not even the sight of patients in need of critical care could make the staff compromise on their stance. Now, as negotiations to get the striking workers back to work, the Mental Health Authority is planning to set up a temporary emergency unit, whilst those on admission are also attended to. Government says it is working around the clock to ensure repair works on the Ebri Mountains resume at least within the next month. The project on the Ebri Road has stalled following failure of contractor CST Limited to meet the 5-month deadline that was set by the Highways Authority to complete it. Last year, the authority announced the closure of the road for 5 months to allow the contractor stabilize the slope and also halt the fall of rocks. 1 year after the closure, however, the Ayi-Mensah Ebri lane of the road remains closed to motorists, resulting in heavy traffic and deterioration of the Ebri-bound side of the carriageway.
Now this part I love. Ghanaian actor Lewin has carved a niche for himself acting in the local scene, with his command over the local Twi language. He constantly puts smiles on the faces of viewers. But what happens when the dancehall act Stonebwoy tries to engage him to speak English? Let's find out on what's trending.
So how did you see the game?
Oh, the game's a nice game. People come out, see the view. You see the environment. All my fans and you all two fans, all Stars fans here. People was happy. Yeah.
So what was the enthusiasm behind your performance?
Huh?
The enthusiasm behind your performance.
Enthusiasm.
Hey, okay, now we know English is off boundary for him, so let's just move on. It's been fun, it's been exciting. Personally, I've had so much fun each time we bring you News Generation. So remember, you can be part of our online family. For those of you on Twitter, you can tweet me, yes, at FaustinaGH. And for those of you on Facebook, just send me a request and I'll accept it, and then we can get interactive, yes. So to all my production crew, Dorcas, Kezia, Irama, and the list is endless. Sami, Gomez, everybody. In fact, I love you so much. Thank you for making sure that each episode is a success. Have a wonderful day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.
Supported by Cowbell with Vitarid.